holy cow, this guy is a world-class athlete, tall, handsome, athletic, rich, influential, competent in his realm of expertise. He's world-class. He's put a dent in the universe. He's influenced a lot of guys. He's been a role model, and he too was unable to keep a marriage together. Really three things that women desire out of guys, and that's success, wealth, influence, power, that sort of stuff, attractiveness, and still, to this day, they look for loyalty. There's no woman that is able to look up to a guy that's at the same level of them or lower. Tom Brady, Giselle, Joaquim, I think is how you pronounce that name, her new jiu-jitsu boyfriend, and sort of what happened. I'm not a sports guy. I've said this many times. I really struggle to sit in a chair and watch other guys on a field chase excellence and go and do stuff. And, you see these like scenes with guys with their woman, and their woman's wearing the name of another man on her back that's playing on the field chasing excellence. And it's all rah, rah, rah. I've just never been able to connect to sports in that sense. I get it. I have some friends that are athletes, actually. I just see them as regular people and as friends, and, the same thing in return. But it's interesting because this guy's a phenomenal character. Tom Brady, one of the best quarterbacks ever, apparently. His net worth was listed as of February 2023, which is when they got divorced, which is the important date that I want to reference here. So I'm gonna do my best to break this in. And of course, the truth is somewhere between what I've read in articles and what I've seen and done some research on, and what I'm about to share with you. But there's some stated facts here, so I can make some reasonable estimations and conclusions based on that as an unplugged guy. I always encourage you guys as viewers to, subscribe to the same methods of thinking and seriousness in your own life. A lot of it is based on the book that I wrote several years ago, The Unplugged Alpha. You want the second edition if you haven't read it. You can find that on Amazon. It's a fantastic read. I've been doing a lot of writing lately, especially last week, sort of like, condensing and consolidating thoughts and, really sort of like hash out stuff. Because a lot of the struggles that guys come to, and they say things to me like when they DM me, well, Rich, if a guy like Brady couldn't do it, like, what are my chances? Or, what do you think of this recent breakdown? And, this new guy that she's with, and apparently Giselle is now pregnant at the age of 44 with her jiu-jitsu instructor's child. So there's some interesting components here and lessons, but I think the biggest thing was, holy cow, this guy is a world-class athlete, tall, handsome, athletic, rich, influential, competent in his, realm of expertise. He's world-class. He's put a dent in the universe. He's influenced a lot of guys. He's been a role model, and he too was unable to keep a marriage together. So let's dive into it. I got some screens to share to sort of, come up with you. We'll get to some answers. I think it's unusual timing, to be honest with you, because I put this event together on Sunday, and on Monday morning, my own 9-year relationship ended. So I'll deal with that some other time, but some of this is sort of like been a little bit surreal for me to sort of read through and echo it with my own thoughts of consolidation. So let's throw this up on the screen. Let's start over here. Invite and present screen, share, and we'll start with a net worth one because I think that's the one we want to begin with. Here we go. So we have it's weird now because when you do a search, it gives you an AI overview, which is a new way of presenting this information. But I guess we'll figure out what's going on with these components of search very, very soon at some point. Anyway, so the overview says, as of February 2023, Forbes has estimated Tom Brady's net worth at $530 million. The guy's worth $500 million. Normally, I find estimations of net worth are not that accurate. Like I've looked up because I know people want to know what's Rich Cooper's net worth, and it's not accurate. It can be plus or minus, I would say 15%, depending on who you're looking at, maybe even 20, 25%. His last year, apparently in the season, paid him something like $73 million. Brady's NFL career spanned 23 seasons, during which he was the highest paid player in the league for a long time, won 7 Super Bowls. So dude's got 7 rings. There's absolutely nobody that I'm aware of. And again, I'm not a huge sports fan. You guys can chop it up in the comments here and you tell me what you think. But there's absolutely nobody in the athletic world that I know of that's won, like, has 7 rings. We got 10 fingers. This guy's got 7 out of 10. I mean, thumbs don't count really. So he's really got 7 of 8 fingers covered. Um, Unbelievable, fantastic career, world class at what he did. He came out of retirement to, come back and do it again and again. What does it say over here? 20 seasons leading the team to Super Bowl, 9 times winning 6. 2020, he joined the Buccaneers on a 2-year contract worth $50 million. After retiring from NFL, Brady signed a 10-year, $375 million contract with Fox Sports, become their lead NFL analyst. Some say Brady's net worth will likely double once he starts his new career on Fox Sports. And you've got endorsements, sponsorships, appearances, speaking gigs. I've seen some big names like this guy speak at events, and they get paid $250,000 just to show up and give a 45-minute speech. And they're usually not even there for the whole event. Like, they're ushered in, they give the talk, and then they're ushered out and they sort of get on with their day. So it's not a full weekend event where you get to hang out and sit down with them and, have a bite to eat sort of thing at these types of events. It's just in and out, talk, go, bye. It's unreal, the world that they live in. It is phenomenal. A lot of people, will, I think, overestimate or overpraise, influencers, like even guys like me. And it's like, I look at these numbers and they're absolutely like mind blowing. There's people like Tom Brady are in the top 0.0000, probably like 1% of the male population in the world. There's literally a very, very small pool of 8 billion people on the planet, maybe less than probably 50 people on the planet that would be competitive with them if you line them up shoulder to shoulder, as far as net worth and looks. Because we all know that there's really 3 things that women desire out of guys, and that's success, wealth, influence, power, that sort of stuff, attractiveness, and still, to this day, they look for loyalty. There's, of course, the notion, I've seen people talk about this before. It's like, when it comes to business, they'll say, well, pick 2 out of 3, like, fast, good, cheap, sort of thing like that, like pick 2 or pick 1, if you can get it at best. And I think when it comes to men on the sexual marketplace to women as a success object, as a man on some sort of purpose, he's very rare, if I can put it that way. So I think that was what they were asking of me to sort of assess, like, how did this happen? Why did it happen? What's your assessment of it, Rich? I've read your book, I've watched your videos, but yeah. People are saying in the comments, he's the greatest of all time. Bill Russell won basketball 10 or 11. He seems like nice guyish. Yeah. Just got here. Believe Tom wasn't that good in bed. No etch. Too nice. Well, I have no idea. I suspect a world-class athlete of his caliber had no problem in the bedroom. Just, it's like, it simply boils down to your cardiovascular health, when it comes to that sort of fun. And I don't think guys like that will get lazy ever, in my opinion. So we've dealt with his net worth. We know he was worth a substantial amount of money, at least $500 million. And that appears to be a number that is only going to go up. And the reason why I started, the reference with that, and I've got a bunch of different sources here of information that I sort of want to go down with you, because I went to multiple places with AI and Grok and some articles and stuff like that. And I think it's, important to note that, well, never mind. Let's just put this up on the screen and keep going through it so I can add my commentary. So we've got a Grok response. Let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger so you guys can sort of play along, but I'll read it out because I know a lot of guys just sort of listen. They don't bother watching the screen. So Tom Brady, Giselle divorce finalized in October 2022. So that's significant because the question's always asked is, did she cheat on him? Did he cheat on her? We don't know, blah, blah, blah. We'll figure that out in a second, or we'll come to a strong probability, right? There's no assurances when it comes to stuff like this. They usually don't fling mud or publicize the nasty details as a public figure. But it says over here they finalized it in 2022. It's been attributed to several factors based on public statements and media reports. So this is a summarization. I've got a few others that I want to go through. Diverging life paths, both Brady and Bundinchin. I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. She's Brazilian. She was a Brazilian supermodel. I'm sure you guys know who she is. She's very attractive, tall. She's your typical, supermodel looking woman. Not the most curvy in, the sense, but, the tall, attractive sort of stereotype that they'll put up on a pedestal on, magazines and fashion shows and stuff like that. They get paid well, but nothing close to what Tom Brady did. Like, he was off the chart. Like, you know, guys have said to me, is it possible to get a woman that is a SMV higher than me, right? And generally speaking, I'm going to say no. For her to have genuine burning desire over a long period of time, like into perpetuity, sort of thing, you're almost always, guys, going to get a gal of an SMV that's going to be lower than you. By how much? I don't know. It could be equal. It could be several points lower. But because women are hypergamous, they date and mate up. You know, they'll only commit to men. Generally speaking, they prefer, if I can put it that way, a very strong preference to commit to men that are of a higher caliber than them. There's no woman that is able to look up to a guy that's at the same level of them or lower, right? And women want to look up to a guy. They want to be with a giant. You know, it's been said many, many times. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.